Well, all right. Let's get started here. It is about that time. Let me get my screen cleaned up here. Now I have made a bunch of changes. What the hell? What's all this crap over here? Okay, there we go. I have made a bunch of changes, primarily related to adding a third monitor. So now I have my OBS screen up here, and I have Discord over here, and I have my tablet over here, and I have also, as you can probably notice, rearranged my workspace somewhat. Because like I was saying, you know, it's kind of weird having to reach across to change layers and all that sort of thing. And I don't want to do that anymore. So what I did was I just grabbed that panel and moved it all the way to the other side of the screen. So that is, hold on. All right. It's been absolutely awful in terms of the various heat issues, and all of my fans were off, so I had to go and turn them back on. Now, you'll notice you can't actually hear my fans, and you may say to yourself, how exactly is it that I can't hear the fans? And that's primarily because I have them located in an area that the microphone doesn't pick them up too well. And in addition to that, I have my noise gate set to cut off low levels of white noise. I also really hate the sound of fans, and I really hate having fans blowing on me and that sort of stuff, so I have them arranged to blow air in various different directions that it's not going to blow on me, and it's not going to be an issue that bugs me. So today's major issue is, today's major element, rather, is I'm going to be working on panel 3 of the curtain call thingy. So first things first, I'm going to click over to the voice channel on Discord, and I'm going to stream the appropriate wait a minute. Where is the appropriate window? Isn't that the right one? That should be it, but let's see what actually comes up. There we go. That is in fact the correct window. I was nervous based on the preview that Discord was showing. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and get fired up. And, well, that's a minor issue. Thanks to the height of this monitor, I cannot see the timer for how long I've been streaming. That's kind of an issue. But I think I probably configure that somehow. Let me go and check and see whether I can, in fact. Scene sources, audio mixer, scene directors, and control stats. I don't know. I will have to figure it out some other time. Anyway, to begin with, we're going to begin the next panel, and this is awesome. I'm just going to go boom. Click. And look at that. Here's all of my appropriate. This is the curtain pose. Did I spell it right? I did, in fact, spell it right. Okay, that's good. Pull that down a bit there. Push that over there. I think you can still hear the fan. I think it doesn't drop down fast enough. Well, I have tried to make it something that's not really an issue on the recording, so one would hope. Huh. Well, regardless. Let's zoom back out. And what we need now is I need to turn on the guides. And it's time for this piece of reference, the front view, to go away. Because I'm going to have to draw on this half of the sheet. So let me pull that back there, and at this point we're going to begin with a sketch. Make sure we're on brush. There we go. And to begin with, what we want here is we want Gura's feet. We want Gura's feet to be down here and kind of planted a little bit apart. Because she's straining backwards. Okay, let's what we want her face kind of pointing upward there. So we want her to be kind of looking up. And then we want her collar right here like this. And we want her arms to be kind of stretching down and straining to pull we want her sort of straining here to pull her hoodie downward. So we want kind of one leg over here and one leg over here, and she's straining and trying to get that chest to pop. Okay, this is not really, that's not really the pose I'm looking for. We want something along these lines. So we want it to be kind of stretching downward. So we've got a good deal of wrinkling there. And I want her arms kind of spread apart. And she's really kind of pulling down on the... But we also want her to be sort of bowing back, like so. So her hands would really come down kind of like this. And we want the tail to droop at this point. I want the tail to kind of swoop around and be sort of droopy. And the bottoms of the feet should be right here. Okay, so we want kind of a through line like this. So we got this kind of stretch backward, and then arms stretch down like that. Let me I kind of try to clarify this a little. And you should be kind of clenching her, eyes shut and going like she's straining. Okay, that is still not quite right, but so this is about what we're looking at here. And we want her hands, we want the top of her head to be somewhat inclined backward. And the neck down and the shoulders really kind of slope here. Here's the tail. Let's actually do sort of a simple curve to the tail, and not a front-back curve. And we want her hands gripping the dress, so she's kind of pulling that up, and then there. And we want to get kind of a better look at it here, where it's sort of coming out of her hand, that location. And got kind of a crumpling effect going on there. And she's pulling that down, and we've got sort of a stretchy thing going on there. got the little mouth thing going on there. Maybe angle a little bit more this way. That's going to be a little tougher, but... Huh. So we want this arm to kind of come out there. This needs to be wider. That leg needs to come farther that way. There needs to be more of a sort of a waist situation going on here. She needs to be wider. She needs to be, yeah, about this wide. This here is coming out. And there's the sleeve. Now we get to think about how exactly the hat responds to this pose. And there's the other fin over here. No, that needs to be more pulled back, and her hair will now be falling backwards like so. So instead of the hair falling forward like it is here, we now have the hair falling backward. And there's hair coming out the back there, and we need to demonstrate that. Where's the hair all tucked up in there? I think the hair's all tucked up in there. So we'll leave that back there like that. And if we swing this hand down, it comes down to about there. So that's about the right location for that. And we want the shoulders to really slope down because she's really pushing down, and the clavicles are flexible. You can push your shoulders down and up, and the clavicle will move. So as she's stretching down and trying to really do that, ow, got a cramp in my chest. That doesn't typically happen. But as she's kind of stretching down like that, then that's going to take her shoulder and that's going to drop it down. Not a whole lot, but a noticeable amount. So we want her to really kind of that'll be about the knee, and that'll be about the knee right there. We've got our shoes as usual. So let's move from the sketch to some composition. We're gonna put all of these little bits and pieces in. We're gonna have the clavicle visible there. The neck is to be pulling back, and we'll be able to see the bottom of her chin. It needs to be a little bigger than that. So you need to think about where the actual shape, we need to think about where the actual shape of her face is, because that's going to be mapped onto the shape of this. Because what we're seeing here is we've got kind of this shape, and her face is kind of wide, really. So you've got this sort of wide delta there. What we're going to see here is we're going to see the chin, and we're going to see this strap going right across it. And then here we're going to have the edge of this hoodie. Here's going to be a bunch of hair. And then here is the little side of the hat. Okay. Hold on a moment here. And move that a bit. See what we got now. We are getting these little bits of noise that come through, and I think that's the fan, but I'm not 100% certain. And I'm not going to check it. It's just going to it's going to be what it is. And these wrinkles here need to affect they need to affect this design. they need to actually change the way the design looks. And there's the back here. This will come through, and here she's kind of gripping that, and here there's the tip of that. And here's the edge of her sleeve. So we've got that, and this needs to come farther across actually. That needs to deform based on her, and here we need to have a leg coming out. Here's a knee, there's a calf, and here's a shoe. It's a sock coming up the thing there. And then on the other side, we have a similar situation of the leg coming down, the calf, there's the... So there's that. And you'll be able to see the edge of the pocket there, and probably the edge of a pocket there. So that'll be roughly the sort of thing that we're looking at. Let's get rid of that. And then the tail, back to the brush. And the tail will be just kind of hang down a bit. And it'll mostly be behind that leg, now that I look at it. So let me click over to color and just kind of start broad brushing in. All the colors fit together on this. We want white here and white here. Up here's the skin tones. So we're going to have skin tone here, here in the face. We're going to have right there, and that's going to go in there. We got the strap of the hoodie, we got the rim of the hoodie. We've got the hairs coming out around the sides here. We got a little mouth thing going on. We got the teeth in here. We got more skin tone with the hands here. And the legs here. The tail is going to be that particular tail color right there. And tail end of the shirt is going to be, of course, the whitish color. And she's got white cuffs. So this is more or less what our initial layout looks like. And so there's kind of the rough end for that. And okay, I have a broad idea what I'm doing here. I'm trying to do this a little bit differently this time, just to kind of get a broad visualization in place to start with. And these little straps, and I get the sole of the feet like so. So this is roughly, that's sort of the flat shaded value study there. So that's more or less what we end up with. This is roughly the kind of thing I'm looking for, but we've got I don't want to do line work on the color layer. Okay, that ends up looking about like I want. She needs to be doing some kind of straining face where she's really pulling down against that dress. And that puts our shoes in the right place and our knees in the right place. Waist is at about the right place. The elbows are at about the right place. Shoulders at the right place. She's straining upward. She should because she's straining upward, the top of her head should be up around here, not down here. But then that somehow doesn't look right. I think this is more or less where we want that to be. So I want to get better line work in there. Obviously. If we can see the pocket, and then the pocket's going to be right there like that. Okay. Okay, so I have a good idea how this is going to look. And I just need to get the details in over top of it. And let's do that on the line art layer. We'll take the composition layer down somewhat in opacity. Take it down about halfway. And that should be enough for us to start working on the line art. And I'm going to begin with I'm going to begin with the edge of the collar there. And then I'm going to take the edge of the collar there, swing it around. I'm having trouble getting quite the feel that I want from this. That's good enough. I will fix that later. And here's the first arm. We need to think about doing the hands. Hands are always kind of problematic. I want these hands kind of cocked outward. So like you can see the knuckles. So something kind of like that. And on the other side, same basic thing, but at a different angle. And then that there. Now we want the cuff to come all the way down and not have we do want that stretch. This feels like the hands are too small and the arms too long, but if we sweep this downward like so, that's about the right place. That hand does need to be wider though, as does that one. Okay, vector eraser. Let's get rid of these terrible hands. So we can draw some better ones. That's the right setup for it. There we go. Okay, so back to brush. Is that about right? That looks like it might be about right. There we go. There's the other hand. I'm not sure those read very well as hands right now. We'll need some improvement. There's that, and then the wrinkles that come up through, we're gonna have to kind of buckle and distort those. Not sure exactly how just yet. But put that there. We need a clavicle there. There's a neck. I'm gonna need to work on this neck. There's the clavicles. Okay. I think I can turn off sketch. No, I can't. Not just yet. I still got a bunch of stuff that's only on those layers. I'm gonna need some way to communicate that. Here's hair coming down right here. And here's bangs here. There's more hair coming out here. Yeah, kind of an unhappy mouth here. Crunchy eyes and little nose up there. Here's the chin strap there. We'll have the little teeth on it. And then up here we're going to have the no, that's not right. And that'll stretch around there. Like so. There's the bottom of it. There's the rim of the there's the rim of that, and there's the other fin. We still need to get the back. Okay. Okay. And then there's shoes and socks here. And there's the tail. Now, if I turn off the sketch layer and the composition layer and the color layer, have I got a full image? I have got a full image. It's a mess, but I can fix that. And okay, that gives me a full image. That gives me something I can actually work with. Now, what am I missing here? What do I need to fit together? I need to figure out how to draw these kind of clenched shut eyes. There's a sort of a, I mean, I can stylize it. I sort of want this kind of squinchy mouth thing going on. I don't know if there is a good way to stylize that in an anime style. Maybe if I use Gora's typical unhappy mouth like I've got in there as the placeholder, maybe that will be the best way to go with this. Since she's stretching this down, the blue should come down farther. The blue should come down to turn the composition layer back on. The blue layer right there, that should come farther down. In fact, the whole thing should come farther down because she's really kind of trying to stretch that. And that's the thing that we're going for there. And go ahead and pull that out of there. So we want to kind of stretch the hemline down a bit. She's reaching down, she's grabbing the hemline and pulling it down. So she would grab it. She wouldn't grab it all the way down at the end. She'd grab it up higher and pull. And that would give kind of this expression. So you'd have all of these very tight stretch wrinkles running straight down. And I have misplaced, there it is, misplaced my stylus. It fell on the ground. Okay. All right, that's sloppy, but it's something. So these stretch wrinkles are basically going to come straight down like that. And we want those wrinkles to start just about under the breastline there. So we want her to be straining against that and getting those stress wrinkles in there, which means we want to kind of divot this in here and divot it out down here. So this needs to kind of scallop is what it needs to do. Yeah, let me go back to composition so I can look at that a little bit more. That needs to kind of scallop. So that's what that needs to be doing, and jump back into color and fill in some stuff. Because I was sloppy. And I will clean a lot of this stuff on the offline time over the course of the week, but All right, that's taken us all the way through the process to a rough sketch, and then I'll kind of clean that up and make it look more reasonable over the course of the week. But I don't see me starting on anything that can be reasonably packed into the stream for the rest of the time we've got, which isn't much. We're closing up on an hour already. Anyway, if you're watching this on YouTube, do a little YouTube dance, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon, all that funky shit. And that's going to be pretty much it for right now. I'm going to be doing some offline work on this over the course of the week, and then next week I'll try and clean that up and see if we can't maybe get started on panel 4. Let's see if we can at least get this finished up next week and take it all the way from this to a final piece by the end of next week. I think that's reasonable. I think that's a good goal for the next stream. And just to kind of call it out, this is a year of Sketch Weekly. Sketch Weekly has been going for a year now, so yeah, this is roughly the anniversary of Sketch Weekly, and I'd like to thank those of you that stuck around this whole time. Those of you, there's like 2 of you. But yeah, I have no idea what else to say, so okay, bye.